Alright guys, so today I want to do a sort of a discussion video, not really sure what to call it, surrounding the Fallout series and Bethesda, and why they can't really make a good Fallout game anymore. This video idea actually stems from a tweet I put out a couple days ago that says, why is it so difficult for Bethesda to put out a Fallout game the community wants? RPG elements of New Vegas, graphics/gameplay of 4, and of course atmosphere of 3. Absolutely perfect Fallout game. And I got a lot of traction in terms of what I get on Twitter. 14 people liking that tweet is far more than I get on most things. I'm not super active on Twitter outside of sharing my videos and, of course, like shitposting stupid things that come to my mind or memes that I come across. But when I put out something that's gaming related and see that much traction to it, it means that those people agree with me. So I thought that this might be a good video idea. So since Bethesda acquired the Fallout IP, I think exactly 15 years ago, I'm pretty sure they acquired it in like 2004-ish, we've had 4 Fallout games, not including Shelter for obvious reasons. We've had Fallout 3, New Vegas, 4, and 76. New Vegas, of course, was made by Obsidian, so Bethesda Game Studios themselves have put out 3 Fallout games. But if you were to ask the majority of the Fallout community and the Bethesda community, and I'm talking people that have been playing since at least Fallout 3, not necessarily knocking the people that started with Fallout 4 or 76, but people that are knowledgeable of the series have been playing since Fallout 3, they would tell you that 4 and 7 were mixed to bad. Or I suppose in 76's case, very bad. It's one of the worst AAA launches, at least of this generation. And Fallout 4 had a couple of decent things about it, but it lacked in a lot of areas. The lack of an actual skill system, the perk chart was kind of boring, the dialogue choices, the choices at all in the story couldn't even really be a bad guy. It lacked a lot of stuff, but there were some positives. I think it was a visually good-looking game for the Fallout series, definitely not pushing the console generation to its limit. And then the gunplay itself, the combat, I think it felt great. It felt like a first-person shooter game, which a lot of people might not like. But for me, transitioning from Fallout 3 New Vegas to 4 feels so much better. So in the eyes of the majority of the community, Bethesda technically hasn't made a good Fallout game since Fallout 3. And I'm not here to tell you which games are good or bad, which ones you like or don't like, and if you're right or wrong. I'm discussing the general reception of the Fallout games. Fallout 3 and New Vegas were received pretty damn well. Fallout 4 was mixed to negative reception. Obviously, Fallout 76 was a negative reception. And the reason why I want to make this video is because it confuses me. I don't understand how Bethesda could acquire the rights to the Fallout series and pretty much knock it out of the park with Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was a very good game. It has its faults, of course, and you can dislike it if you want to, but for the most part, it is a great game. It's a masterpiece in my eyes. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I don't understand how you can do that with the very first attempt at making a Fallout game and then drop the ball so hard with Fallout 4 and then drop the ball even harder with Fallout 76. I mean, I understand that they were trying to simplify Fallout 4 to appeal to a wider audience, but the games didn't need to be simplified. It's not like Fallout 3 and New Vegas were even complicated games to begin with. All they really had to do was improve the graphics and the gunplay like they did with Fallout 4, but kept it the same as Fallout 3 New Vegas in terms of the leveling system, the skill system, the perk system, even the dialogue system. I know we had a voice protagonist this time around, but there's zero reason why we couldn't have just kept the dialogue system the same. There's no reason we had to limit it to only 4 choices at all times and only ever being a good guy. And I'm not trying to forgive Bethesda for Fallout 76 or forgive Fallout 76 for its sins, but it was never trying to be Fallout 5. It was always going to be a very, very different Fallout game. It's a multiplayer-centric Fallout game. I mean, the game had many, many faults. It was very similar to Fallout 4 in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's an asset flip of Fallout 4. But then they changed like the perk system again. The perk system was already bad in Fallout 4, at least in my eyes and probably some other people's eyes. Then they changed this weird-ass perk card system. Then you can only have so many perk cards active at one time. Like, why couldn't it have been a simple level up, pick a perk, and that perk is active at all times now? Like, why does it have to be this weird-ass perk card system? And, of course, you had the very boring and repetitive quests, the lack of NPCs that made the world feel very, very desolate in a bad way, not really necessarily in a post-apocalyptic way. And you pretty much had to create your own interesting things to do and fun with other players. Like, that's kind of obvious from the game. But let's backtrack away from Fallout 76. We've been shitting on the game for like half a year now. We get it. Back to Fallout 4. It's so strange to me that they came out with such a weird and different Fallout game when they had the blueprints for what a good Fallout game could be with Fallout 3 New Vegas. I think the world of Fallout 3 was great. I think the atmosphere was damn near perfect for a post-apocalyptic game. And then New Vegas obviously had the RPG aspects, the branching quest lines, the multiple endings, the factions, the weapon mods. Like, all those things grouped together could make a great Fallout game. That's all Bethesda had to do with Fallout 4, with obviously the improved graphics and gunplay. And it's just crazy to me that this escapes them as game developers, as people who do this for a living, as people who've been doing this for a living for like 20 plus years, 30 plus years now. It's like I'm just some guy who plays video games and talks about it on YouTube. That's all I do, and I can see how easy of an equation this is. Obviously, I don't know the complications of developing a game physically, going through the years and all that stuff, but the point is, you take the good aspects of the previous games and improve upon them, and then add some new mechanics. That's all you really have to do with each sequel, and they went back with Fallout 4. They backtracked. And me personally, as somebody who didn't even really care for the settlements in Fallout 4, I can see why people do like it, and I can see it being a good thing in a future installment like Fallout 5 if they wanted to bring it back but make it useful, because it just made so many empty locations in Fallout 4. Like, it was already... Fallout 4's locations were pretty uninspired in a lot of ways, but then you have like half the map being like settlement locations, so all you do is go there, kill the bad guys, and now you can build stuff here. Like, that was kind of boring. Speaking of the map, and I've been bitching about this for 3.5 years now, a third or so of Fallout 4's map was cut off by the water, and there's nothing to do in the water. There's virtually nothing to even find underwater, so it's all just filler. That was a big issue for me, whereas you go back to Fallout 3 New Vegas, of course the entire maps are explorable. And I understand that Fallout 4's explorable area was bigger than Fallout 3's map and Fallout New Vegas' map, and the verticality of a lot of locations, and Boston itself was a pretty decent area. It's still very insulting to have like a third of the map cut off by water and there's nothing to do in the water or explore in the water or really find underwater. It's just like, it's so lazy. And I guess the point of all this is it makes me not even really anticipate Fallout 5, whenever that's going to come out. From the looks of things, it won't be out for a very long time, but it's like Bethesda couldn't even get a Fallout game right with their second release. And then they got it even further from right with their third release. And it's like, why should I even look forward to a Fallout 5 when I didn't like Fallout 4 that much? I have been playing it off and on for 3.5 years now. It's the majority of my gameplay on my channel. But that's because it looks better and plays better to me than Fallout 3 New Vegas. And it also kind of keeps with the roots of the channel being Bethesda and Fallout. So again, if they're 1 for 3 when it comes to releasing Fallout games, why should I or anybody out there really anticipate the next release? And obviously I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you guys or tell you guys that the next Fallout game, be it Fallout 5 or Fallout branch-off title, is going to be a bad game. We have no way of knowing that. And that game, whatever it's going to be, is potentially years and years out from release. But if we go off of Bethesda Game Studios' track record with the release of the Fallout games and their general reception, the future of the Fallout series just doesn't look very good. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is meant to be a discussion, so I'll pass off to you guys as usual in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Do you share my opinions? What are your thoughts on the future of the Fallout series? Obviously, I'm reserving actual judgment till we see something from the next Fallout game, and we still have to at least see Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 to see if Bethesda can even still make good games or good RPGs anymore. But based on what we've seen from the Fallout series so far, what are your thoughts on the future? Either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay up to date with more Fallout content, turn on my notifications, follow me on Twitter at TheDashingDavid, and my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
Give me forever for a while, give me forever for a while. Quit acting like a baby, or at least less like